I can't believe there's actually an under...
Let's see what they have to share about Almeidrea. You didn't happen to see a lord come by, did you?
Sorry, friend, but she just left. Came by with a whole posse of underlings, boarded her ship, and took off at first wind. You guys trying to go after her? Need a ride?
Are you saying you know how to steer a ship?
Spent most of my life chained to the deck of some ship or other. Yeah, I know my jib from my boom.
We don't know how dangerous it'll be. Better you give us the boat and stay on solid ground.
Whoa there! You been out on the water before? The sea ain't nobody's friend, you know. You need a sea dog like me or you'll sink her before she makes it out the harbor.
We're losing time. Sir, we're in your debt.
Now that's more like it. Name's Mahavar. Just give me a holler when you're all set and we'll set sail.
Think we'll catch up to her?
Course we will. They got too much weight on them. Meanwhile, this ship's carrying nothing but us salty scalawags. They got a good head start on us, but we can take them.
Do you know if there are any Dahnans on that ship?
Couldn't say for sure. On the one hand, seeing as it's supposed to be something of another castle, I'd reckon they probably wouldn't let a bunch of Dahnans on board. On the other hand, I'd be real surprised if the Renans were able to pilot that thing all by themselves. In any case, it's gonna be a while before we reach her. Till then, you're all free to do whatever. Just don't fall in the ocean.
I know Mahavar said we could take it easy, but there's not exactly a lot to do on this boat.
Do you think Law is okay?
If you're worried, why don't you ask him yourself?
Yeah. I think maybe I should apologize to him too. I should apologize to all of you, really.
Us too?
Well, I was kinda lying to you all this whole time. I was blind to everything except my own revenge. I never even considered the struggles all of you might be facing.
We all have things we'd prefer to keep to ourselves, Rinwell. So what if you had something to hide? It doesn't undo the good that you've done, or the people that you've helped save along the way.
But that's not what I mean.
I know. You're talking about Almeidrea, right?
Yeah. I hate her, Alphen. I can't stop hating her. Even just thinking about her makes my head feel like it's going to explode. But it's not just her. I think about the way Law looked at me. I hated the Lord who killed my parents. And I hated the Renans I had to travel alongside. And yet, Cyslodius Dahnans backstab each other like it's a normal way of life. And Mahag Saar has people like Deadeye. But then there are people like Law and Shionne. It's all just too much. I don't know what to think anymore.
Law never said that you had to forgive Almeidrea. It's only natural you would hate your family's murderer. But...
But what?
Law left home because of how much he hated his father. As a result of that, well... I think Law spent a lot of time thinking about how they never got to make things right. And if I had to guess, killing Ganabel didn't make any of those feelings go away. Law let revenge fuel him, and I think now he's afraid you'll do something you'll regret.
Afraid?
Whatever happens to Almeidrea when this is all over is up to you. I'll respect whatever choice you make. Just Think it over carefully for me, okay? You still have time.
Okay. Thanks, Alphen. Say, back then, after the fight, I think I really made Xion mad. I don't know, though. Maybe it just looked that way. But I guess I just can't seem to understand how she feels. Do you know why she gets like that?
Xion's... She can be a tough nut to crack. She doesn't really talk a whole lot about herself.
It's just what she said about hate being a source of strength. Where did... I wonder how it feels, not being able to hold another person's hand.
I took a look around inside the ship just in case, but I didn't find anything that looked like it might be suspicious.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
You know, it wasn't until I left Calaglia that I finally realized just how big the world is. Yeah, somehow the sea is different though. I'm not sure just how to put it. It's almost as if it just goes on forever. I bet my old man would have been blown away by this view.
Yeah.
Ever since he died, I've been thinking about what it was that he was really trying to say to me at the end. I keep going over his words again and again. And heck, maybe I'm just overthinking it all. But still, sometimes I wonder if it could have turned out differently. If there was something I could have done. But no matter how much I play it back, I'm still no closer to finding any answers. And then there's everything with Rinwell. I stopped her from killing Almeidrea, but was that really the right thing to do? Or did I just end up making things harder for her?
You're not the only one. I keep asking myself what Zephyr would have done had he been here. Like I think, how would Zephyr...
Yeah, I think he definitely would have stopped her. No doubt about it.
And that's exactly what you did, Law. I think he'd be really proud of you.
Alphen.
Zephyr's not the worst yardstick to measure ourselves against. Let's both do our best to make him proud.
Sounds like it... Thanks, Alphen.
Hold that pose long enough and someone might just come along and paint you.
Any artist who'd see fit to paint me needs their eyes tested.
What can you tell me about Almeidrea?
Not as much as you'd probably wish. I only ended up crossing paths with her a handful of times, after I was chosen to be a lord on Lenegis.
Right. I almost forgot about Lenegis. How much do you think they know about what's been going on down here?
It's safe to assume they know everything, though I know not why they choose to remain uninvolved. Perhaps they see what's been happening as just part of the ongoing crown contest.
Even what Almeidrea did? Has it really reached the point where her actions are seen as normal?
Not to my knowledge, no. At its core, the crown contest is a competition to see who can amass the most astral energy. And to amass such energy, slaves are needed to collect it from. It's therefore against the Lord's interest to kill them.
So then why would Almeidrea do something like that?
We must remember that time is running out in the crown contest. Perhaps her hand was forced, so to speak. It is a way to accrue astral energy faster and in larger quantities than through slave labor. Doing so kills off that labor force, obviously, but it is a means to an end nonetheless. No one could have foreseen that something like the Hollowing would arise back when the contest was first conceived.
Is becoming the Sovereign of Renna really that important to the Lords?
Of course. It's the greatest prize one can attain in their eyes. In that respect, at least, I'm really not that surprised that Almeidrea resorted to what she did, as utterly despicable as it is.
It's reassuring to hear you feel the same way I do.
I worry that the only reason I never did anything similar in Menancia was due to my lack of ambition.
If you didn't want to be reminded of your past, you could have just plugged your ears.
You think too highly of me. I'm afraid I must respectfully disagree. I'm not nearly as virtuous of a person as you might wish to believe.
If that's so, would you have been so shaken up when Kisara lost her brother? Why else would you turn your back on your own kind and choose to fight for Miguel's dream? Aren't we just Dahnans?
A curious choice of words. Did what you see in Mahag Saar hit you that hard?
What Deadheim did to that city, he didn't liberate anyone. Anyone who refused to follow him was an enemy in his eyes. 300 years of Renan rule taught him nothing.
What I have come to understand is that the conflict extends beyond Dahnan versus Renan. There is an internal quarrel as well. I mean to bring about a true, lasting coexistence in Menancia. But there are more walls we must topple first.
And you don't think you can pull it off?
Well, you seem to think you can, at least.
Does that make us enemies?
Insofar as an exchange of swordplay, no, it doesn't.
Not good enough for you?
Are you really... Forgive me. I will continue to fight by your side a while longer. That much I have decided.
So good. You all right?
The floor. It keeps moving. How can you stand it? How can you even stand?
I'm not the best person to ask about discomfort. I can't feel pain, remember?
I still can't believe what happened in Niez. Even now. As a lord, my expectations for Almeidrea were already pretty low. But the way she treated human lives like they're mere playthings.
Yeah. And it wasn't as if the situation in Niez was improving much to begin with.
You mean Deadheim?
The whole reason I started fighting back was because of my anger at the atrocities of Renan rule. Back then, all I had to worry about was fighting the Renans for the sake of the Dahnans. But then I met Shion and the people of Menancia, and things became a lot more complicated. It's even messier now that we have to worry about Dahnans like Deadheim.
It used to be that the Dahnans were the ones in the right, and the Renans were the ones in the wrong. Though, maybe that was just a biased perspective, from being on the side of the oppressed.
Exactly. I'll never tolerate the Renans ruling over us. But nothing ever ends up being as black and white as you'd expect it to be either. That's clear to me now.
That said, even putting aside bad apples like Deadheim for a moment, you may be able to free the Dahnan people, but that won't undo 300 years of oppression. It'll be hard for them to not give in to their resentment. I think maybe that's why I clung to our dream so hard back in Menancia.
Even if his motivations weren't pure, Dohalim has a good heart. He didn't sink to the depths Almeidrea did.
You don't understand. I'm saying that it goes deeper than that. This hierarchy we live in, it's not solely something the Renans invented. I remember a story Rinwell once told me. She said before the Renans invaded, we Dahnans had our own class system. We are the ones who divided ourselves. I saw it in Deadeye's eyes. He wanted to rule over others.
To hear Beifong tell it, Deadeye wasn't always that way.
But as time went on, and he and the Darkwings fought the Renans, he eventually changed. I guess what I'm getting at is, if we defeat the Renans but just go back to the way things were before, was there even any point in fighting?
But that world isn't the one you want to create, right?
Maybe not. But to tell you the truth, these days I'm not so sure that dream is even possible.
You have your promise to Miguel, though. Your home and the people of Menancia are depending on you.
I know. My brother. He truly believed in his dream of coexistence. And I suppose, even now, many people still do. And then, there's you.
Who, me?
You and Xion.
I'm not sure I follow.
Okay, then let me spell it out for you. How many other Renans and Dahnans do you know that get on as spectacularly as the two of you?
I don't know that I'd say spectacularly.
Well, I suppose it's really all a matter of how you look at it, isn't it?
I really don't see what you're getting.
I think I'm getting seasick again. Sorry. Can you just give me a wide berth for a few minutes?
Lean much further, you'll go overboard. Keeping an eye out for Almeidria's ship?
I'm looking at the ocean.
The ocean?
Yeah. The waves. They help me think. This world is filled with natural wonders. The icy air and white peaks of Cyslodia, the lush green glades of Menancia, the harsh wastes of Calaglia. But Menancia has its Lake of Death, and Nias its ruins. And they wouldn't be there if it weren't for that contest.
Say we actually manage to put a stop to the crown contest for good. What do you think will happen between the Dahnans and the Renans then?
You first.
Well, I want to believe that the coexistence we saw in Menancia can happen elsewhere, too. It's insane for all of us to keep fighting. If Menancia can do it, so can everyone else.
Yeah, I think that would be good too. A world where everyone can get along. At least, that's what I've come to believe.
You sure have changed.
I can't lie to you. Since I was young, I've looked down on the Dahnans too. But I've seen a lot. And I see things differently now. I've seen so many ugly and terrible things in this world. And yet, they didn't come from just the Dahnans. And the good things too. They didn't come from just the Renans. Kindness and cruelty exist on both sides. A person's race doesn't factor into it. So, I guess you're right after all, Alphen. I have changed. You know, I've never actually touched another person like this.
Shion.
Ever since I was on Lenegis, I've always been alone. Even after I came to Dana. Always.
And now?
Do you still not remember your past?
No. Sometimes it feels like I can almost remember. But then this mask stops me.
The mask keeps you from remembering why you have the mask in the first place. It's a little ironic, isn't it?
A little. Well, it won't be long now before you're rid of those thorns, you know? Only 2 lords remain. And once you have their master course, you'll be able to create the Renis Alma, right? Then you can... Shion?
Sorry, it's nothing. Promise. You're right, though. It'll all be over soon. I never could have made it this far on my own. I have everyone to thank for that. Including... especially you, Alphen.
Don't worry about it. We're friends, after all.
Yeah, we are.
Much longer it's going to be before we catch up to Almeidrea. I'll ask Ma.
Look who's up! Good timing. We're closing in on her stern as we speak.
That's the ship? She's huge. Law, go gather the others, will you? Think you'll be able to flank them without getting spotted?
Yeah, with the fog as our ally, I think I might just pull it off. Long as we ain't too noisy, we should be okay.
What'll you do if they catch on to us?
Not much I can do. Ship that size, they'll probably blow us to bits before we ready cannons.
Persistent little things. Evidently, I shouldn't have spared the wretched vermin. Hungry already, my dear? Worry not, for you shall have plenty to feast upon shortly.
Perfect. You managed to get us right up beside them.
I'll stay with the ship so we can leave as soon as you're done.
Good. Then let's find Almeidrea.
want to thank you.
What brought this on?
What you said helped to calm me.
Don't mention it.
I'll trip it up.
Carve through one!
Freeze Lancer!
Mirage!
Now!
Slash!
You require a hand.
Thunder Shield!
Take this!
Reload! Dance to the wind! Air Thrust!
Let's refrain from losing.
Little help!
It's on! Burn in hell!
Here's a healing arc!
Take this!
First
Rising
aid!
water!
Fire
that gun out of your hand! I see one, eh? In an instant! Impact block!
I'm ready! Here I go! Far enough!
It's almost too strong!
Split it open!
Be my guest!
Primed and ready! This one's mine!
Eat this! Hurricane! Rollerblade!
Lightning!
Double Demon Fang! Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet and... This is the power of the Blazing Sword!
Got it! That went well.
Are you okay? You're not too tired, are you?
Nope, I'm fine. Let's keep moving.
Let's dispose of the trash.
Inferno Turret! Rising Wipe! Rising Wipe!
Dance in the wind!
Mirage!
These ones can wrap rings around them! Now!
All mine!
Freeze Lancer!
Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade!
Swallow
Blade!
Seal!
Leave the ensnaring to me.
You picked the wrong fight! Rising Wipe! Mirage! Rising Wyvern! Lunar Rondo!
Can't get out of this!
Talon Hurricane! Mirage!
Air Thrust!
Our work is done here. Let's move.
I'm right behind you, Shion.
You're so amazing, Kisara. You can cook, you can fix weapons. I feel like there's practically nothing you can't do.
Maybe you should take a page out of her book and learn to make yourself more useful then.
I'd be happy to teach you if you want, Rinwell. I learned most everything I know from my brother.
Really? Even how to sew and do laundry?
Yes, indeed. He knew how to do anything.
Sounds like he was a pretty handy guy when he was alive.
He was. I'd always follow him around and badger him with questions. I was a real pain in the neck. Now that I think about it, He and Legil were the ones who taught me how to raise cats, too.
Legil is that woman who was with him in the Gold Dust Cats, right? I remember now. The one with the really pretty hair.
Funny you mentioned it. He also taught me how to maintain my hair. Not that those lessons stopped it from getting all tangled up during training.
I think it still looks gorgeous.
From what I can tell, it would appear as though the only thing he didn't manage to teach you was how to apply makeup.
No, but that didn't stop him from trying. He really wanted to teach me everything. Only reason he couldn't was because I prioritized my training.
And here I was trying to make a joke.
I can't tell if she's being serious. The only one here who knows him well enough was her.
Yeah, I guess only Miguel could have told us if it's actually true.
Here, let me help. I can handle it. Denied! Flush!
Raging Storm! I'll take my revenge on you! Annihilation! Tornado Fury! Burning Strike!
Fall back! Infernal Turret! Swallow Blade!
Here's a healing arc!
Iconic Punch! Try this! Swallow Blade!
Mega Ray!
Swallow Blade!
Thunder Ray! This one's mine!
Swallow Blade! Carve through wall!
Here's a healing arc! I'll be saving this
Lunar
one!
Rocket! In an instant! Impact Claw!
Here, let me help! First
I
aid!
owe you one! No further!
More lightning descent! Do it!
Take it, Zora! Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone! Looks like we got them all.
It'll be a breeze. Get in, get out.
Try this!
Nothing can find me!
Not on my watch!
Take down their defenses! Mirage! You're mine!
I'll finish you here and now.
Mirage!
Here's the evil!
Rising Wyvern!
Freeze!
We're not finished! Eat dirt!
Now you see what I can do.
Now! Totally! In an instant! Impact Claw!
Dragon Shell.
An Astral Arts?
That's my cue!
Shut him down!
Blown flight!
Here I come! Lunarado!
Now! With this, I can become even stronger! Little help!
It's time!
I never miss!
Can't get out of this! Swallow Blade!
Lightning Orb!
Taste
I won't show you any mercy! Damn it, Rising Wyvern! Mirage! Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade!
Dance in the
Nothing
wind!
gets by me.
Air thrust!
Flash! Eat dirt!
Here! Flame of Fury! Burning
Iconic
Glacial Spear! Here's evil!
Rising Wyvern! Mirage! Here I come!
Tempest Swirl!
Mirage!
Lunar Blast!
Flash!
Back into the fray! Shield!
Strike!
I'm on it.
Mega Ray!
Rising Wyvern!
Glimmer Dragon.
Tempest Swirl! Searing Flying Red!
Swallow Blade!
Here I go! Dance in the wind!
Swallow Blade!
I'll be saving this one!
We managed to pull through.
I can't wait to start making our meal.
Ooh, we having something new to eat?
Yep, now that we have...
Let's dispose of the trash.
Not on my watch!
Try this!
Now we're
Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone! Here, you think that shield will save you?
I'm on it!
Radiant Storm!
No further!
Only getting started! Third Flash!
If it's in the sky, it's mine!
Bullseye!
Leave the target!
Ow!
Slice! Swallow blade! Tear you apart! Slice! Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
Here's a healing arc! Raging
We're not
Energy!
finished!
In here! Glacial Spear! Dancing is Freeze Lancer! Lightning Condemned! Here's a healing arc! First aid!
Looks like we won.
Be a breeze. Get in, get out.
Smash you!
We can... One more!
This ends now!
Damn it, baby!
I'm going in! Got you!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
Here's a healing arc!
Slice! That's freaking Ignite! You won't make a fool of me! Mirage!
Here, let me help.
Rising Wyvern!
Tectonic
Mirage!
Tunnel!
Rising Wyvern!
You're on a roll now! Glimmer
No
Dragon!
further! Wind!
Lightning Condemned!
Lunarondo! Mirage! Rising Wyvern! Lunarondo!
Glacial Spear!
Here's
evil!
Rising Wyvern!
Lancer!
Here I come! I'll beat you!
Lightning Condemned!
Swallow blade! I'll tear you apart!
Annihilation!
He's dead! Rising Wyvern!
Just getting
started.
Lunarondo!
Now.
Whip and tear!
Air
Crossback!
I'll smash you!
Flame of Fury!
Severing wind! Ignite!
I'll
tear you apart.
Now evil!
Trigger!
Astral Energy!
Say no more.
Am I on a roll or what?
Well, look who's in a bright and shiny mood. Never seen anything like it.
It's an authentication key. They're quite common.
Maybe where you're from, but this is new to me.
It might go in an elevator somewhere. We should test it out.
Not on my watch! Annihilation!
Infernal Torrent!
Tear you apart!
Rising Wyvern!
Lightning Orb! Here's a healing arc!
If it's in the sky, it's mine!
Energy!
Lunarondo!
Now or never.
Rising Wyvern! No further! Eat this! Lunarondo! Mirage!
By the power of water! Powered hurricane!
too fast! Stand back. I'll turn it up. Swallow blade! Eat this!
Fear! Pierce evil!
Slice!
Dance in the wind!
Tear you apart!
Feel!
Swallow blade!
Here's a healing arm!
Rising Harbor!
Tempest swirl!
Nothing gets by me!
I'll tear you apart! Swallow blade!
There! House this!
Fly away!
Dance in the wind!
Rising water!
Sleep now!
Now you see what I can do. I'm on a roll, man.
I'm on
Glacial spear! Pierce evil!
Flash! Swallow blade!
Lightning orb!
Burn!
Do it! Breeze laser! This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
Everyone hanging in there?
This is...
I remember seeing instruments just like this back in Estaluba Forest.